Josh Green here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Ben Shalom here outside the Wembley Arena. How are we doing today, Ben? Busy day?
Yeah, busy day, busy few days. Fantastic show, and just fantastic to be involved in such a historic night.
How does it feel to be sort of one of the names, one of the promotional companies on that board? We've got Matchroom, Queensberry, Wasserman, Boxer, all on that board. Great to see so many promoters working together.
It is. Look, we've had to be patient and build our fighters over a period of time, and now they're ready for the big fights. And so, yeah, it's great. It's surreal, isn't it, to see all the promoters together. I'm more delighted for the fighters, and hard work creates opportunities, and a huge opportunity on a historic card like this. And as you said, delighted to be involved. Thank you to Riad season, and it's amazing for the sport.
Matchroom and Queensberry have obviously sort of kicked off the trend over in Saudi Arabia. What's it been like for you sort of doing your thing back home and not being involved, and sort of now being in a position where you can give those opportunities to your fighters?
Look, I think sometimes people read too much into it. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury have been the driving force for a long time, and we've had to be patient and work hard and build our stable to the point where they're attractive names, and they're big fights, and they're big names in British boxing, and that's what it's got to now. I think Saturday was a watershed moment with Boxer and Matchroom. Where we've had difficulties, but Riad's season as well is now kicking off. Martin Bacoli has a huge fight on August the 3rd against Jared Anderson. 2 fights on here, and it's great. I think there's loads of fights being talked about, and it's amazing. Did I think it could ever happen? I wished it would, but did I think it could? No. So to see all the promoters at one table and all the fights being put on is pretty special.
Let's talk about Tyler Denny. Incredibly quick turnaround from Saturday night to get him here to this press conference on Wednesday. The negotiations for Tyler's fight with Hamzah Sheeraz, have they started before the Felix Cash fight, or have they all been done in sort of 48 hours?
Literally been done since Sunday. When I got the call, or we started talking, I was like, bloody hell, I better not tell Tyler too early, because it's too life-changing to even play around with. So I wanted to wait until it was signed and speak to his manager, and I spoke to his manager, and we said, like, let's get it done. We got a fantastic opportunity, fantastic purse. It's been such a whirlwind. 2 years ago, he fought for the English title in the rematch against River Wilson Ben. We've done 6 fights back-to-back. He's won every one. He wins the European title, which we invested in, and thought this will lead to some opportunities. Massive win against Felix Cash on Saturday night on a Matchroom show, which, again, Tyler Denny broke down the barriers. And then, not only that, we're now at Riad season fighting Hamzah Sheeraz, and he's earned, and this is life-changing. And it's the most satisfying moment in my boxing promoting career. Forget world titles, forget pay-per-views, forget anything, the all-women's night, anything. This story of someone that came from nothing, had nothing, was jumping into fights for nothing, fighting his way literally to the top to change his life is a special feeling. And I can't thank His Excellency and Riad season enough, because they said this night was going to be about British boxing, or give opportunities to the real British boxing stories, and Tyler Denny is that, and they've done that, and it's incredible to see.
You're obviously delivering a huge opportunity, and I'm sure a huge payday for Tyler. He's really sort of built himself into more of a star now. You saw the amount of people that came out in Birmingham last week. Is the only maybe slight disappointment that it's not a boxer show that he's headlining, because he's certainly got the potential to do that?
No, not at all. This is a gift. He's worked for it, but this is unbelievable. He's fighting Hamzah Sheeraz at Wembley Stadium for a life-changing amount of money to defend his. It's incredible, and this is as good as it can get. Well, we keep saying that, but he always proves people wrong, and there'll be a lot of doubters again for September 21st, and he's going to have to do it, but not at all. This is the stuff that dreams are made of.
One thing to pick up from Saturday night, first time you'd met Eddie Hearn, obviously. Saw the interview where he mentioned maybe we'll see you accept more of these purse bids. It was an interesting comment, really, from Eddie, but great for you to get the win. Do you think it could sort of change your opinion, change your mindset at all?
Look, it's a bit of banter, really. I think he knows as well as I do why Fraser Clark, which was the main one, didn't do it in his 6th fight, did it as an 8th fight. He knows what the sport's about. And but yeah, I think mainly to have gone to a show, to be treated well, to have a fight like that, it's incredible, and it's going to break down British boxing barriers further, and that's what Saturday was about. And I think we're going to see more fights coming in the future. And yeah, it was good to speak to them for the first time, and yeah, I think there's going to be a lot that comes from it.
There are much rumours about Wardley Clark 2 being on this card. We saw how much the first fight did, and the amount of sort of viewers, and obviously the O2 was filled out that day. Where do you expect that to land now? It's not going to be on this card.
I think it sells out any stadium, any arena in the UK, and I think it's a fight that both of them won next. It's a huge night. It's a huge fight. It's another domestic heavyweight clash, and I think it's just too big. And the first one was big, but the amount of people that watched what was a modern classic, let's be honest, it was a hell of a fight. I think everyone wants to see that fight again, and fingers crossed we can announce something soon.
Joshua Buatsi against a man in Willy Hutchinson who upset the odds against Craig Richards, and a lot of that sort of build-up from the fight week. I remember Willy Hutchinson was trying to get in the head of Craig Richards, and we don't know whether that did or didn't play a part. We saw the start of those mind games today with Joshua Buatsi. How did you view it being on that stage?
I think that's exactly what I want, is Joshua Buatsi to be angry and spiteful, because when Joshua Buatsi is spiteful, he's dangerous, and that's the best Joshua Buatsi that we'll see in a ring. So when I'm seeing that, and Willy is a controversial character and will wind him up, I think that's playing into Buatsi's hands. It gives him that spark. It gives him that spite that perhaps he didn't have against Dan Aziz, even though it was a great fight. That was his friend. I want him spiteful, and I think he's going to put on a devastating performance on September 21st. I really do.
Last one for you, the main event, Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois. Worst kept secret in boxing. I've said that a few times today. Many people you speak to, the only way that can end is a knockout. Do you believe that? And if so, who do you think gets it?
I think we say that a lot. What I would say is I'm a big fan of Anthony Joshua. I think it's fantastic to see him back like this. He's a huge star. And I expect him to put in a devastating performance. I actually do. I think, yes, Daniel's had a great 12 months, and it's fantastic to see him have that, especially as a young man, especially after the criticism that he's had. But for me, Anthony Joshua is an elite heavyweight that is coming back into the form that we were used to seeing. And I think he'll be looking to put on a big statement, but a great fight and a great domestic heavyweight fight as well.
And cheers for your time, and I'll see you in Barnsley.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.